Okay, folks, this is Barefoot Grandpa here today with Roxy. Oops, I got her some treats. She loves cheese crackers. I kind of like them too. Oh. Okay, today it's almost summertime, and summertime means great times outside and things that are not quite so good, like mosquitoes, ticks, and gnats, and if you're in Scotland, midges. So what we're going to talk today about is what I do to keep away from mosquitoes. Now, fortunately, mosquitoes don't bother me too much. Well, I'm just kind of lucky in that way. They'll leave a little bite and it doesn't itch for very long. Now, April, if there's a mosquito in 10 miles, they will find April. Roxy, bugs don't seem to bother at all, but she does get a tick or two. Now, I have had ticks and actually was in the hospital because of a tick bite once. So if you get a tick bite, that's something to take care of. And then we've got something here in our Los Padres forest. I call it no-see-um, or a sespe bug. And it's a tiny little beast that you never see it. And once it starts to itch, it leaves a welt on me that can last 3 or 4 days. And not good. So I don't like those little guys. But mosquitoes, fleas, ticks, no-see-ums, midges, they can all kind of conspire to make your life miserable. So there's tools and there's processes of ways of keeping from having those beasties bug you. So we'll go and dig into the different ways of anti-bugging. Okay, now we'll dig into the different ways I found that work for me to repel bugs, the mosquitoes, ticks, gnats, midges, and we got this dang bug in the sespe in our Los Padres, and we actually had them in Texas too. Small little no-see-um that once it bites me, it leaves a welt on me for about 3 or 4 days. Don't like them at all. So Roxy doesn't seem to be bothered by bugs. She's got great barriers, but mosquitoes will bother bugs too. So what do we do? First, we'll talk about the chemicals. And what I'll use mostly, Rox, here, fooled you, is this small bottle of 100% DEET. And DEET is one of the strongest insect repellents. It's been around a long time. It's a pretty harsh chemical. Somehow it dissolves certain rubbers, so it seems pretty harsh to be putting on your skin, but works really well. And so this small bottle, I can put in a Ziploc, carry inside my kit. And the best way to apply this is not spray this all over. A little squirt on your back of your hands, rub it around with the back of your hands, touch the spots of your face and your skin that are exposed. A little hard to get the back of your neck sometimes. That's all you need. Don't get it on the front of your hands, because when you eat, you don't really want to taste that. You don't want to give DEET to your dog or yourself. Anybody who's tasted DEET, it tastes really pretty bad. Here you go, Rox. Missed you. So works really well, lasts a long time, works against mosquitoes, gnats, ticks. Now on ticks, I'll go ahead and spray, put a little bit more on my lower legs or on my socks or on my shoes, the pants, to keep the ticks from coming up. Another thing they say works good for ticks is gaiters, or you can even stick your pants inside your socks to keep those dang ticks from getting on your skin. Ticks are a bad one. Mosquitoes don't bother me much, like I said, but ticks, they can be horrible. Had an emergency room visit this last year because a tick bite got infected and gave me something called cellulitis, which is not good. So 100% DEET, kind of my go-to of choice. A lot of people like using spray insect repellent. I'm not a real fan of it because as soon as you spray it, it puts out a mist And I don't think you can hardly help but inhale some of that. So I would rather not use a lot of this. It's real convenient to spray on your pants, on your legs, on your back, but it is not like sunscreen. Don't just spray this around your face and breathe in all that stuff. Um, uh, Works, says it repels mosquitoes that may transmit the Zika, West Nile, dengue, and chikungunya viruses. So there's nasty stuff that mosquitoes carry, as well as malaria. So um, without a choice, I'd go ahead and use this. But again, I would just spray a small bit on my back of my hands and then rub it around. Don't spray it like sunscreen. Non-DEET type repellents. This is a Repel plant-based lemon and eucalyptus. Smells good. Says it repels mosquitoes and deer ticks for up to 6 hours. Ingredients are lemon oil, eucalyptus. Oil of lemon eucalyptus. Okay, 40%. Seems to work. I don't think I get 6 hours, but definitely keeps the mosquitoes away. Generally seems to hold up for a couple hours or so, and then you can apply some more. Who knows that lemon eucalyptus oil may be as toxic in the long term as DEET, but sounds better. Cool one that I found in Scotland is this called Smidge, Smidge. It's non-DEET, and the Scots and probably Northern Ireland and probably Northern Europe have midges in the summer. And it's kind of like our gnats. There can be clouds of them. You'll be outside middle of the day and all of a sudden you start getting little nips everywhere. It's the dang midges, and they're tiny. You can't see them, and they'll leave you with kind of a rash. Not good things. This stuff is pretty nice. It smells good. It doesn't leave much of an oily residue, and seems to work against the midges, and works. I've used it here rowing. Keeps the Cespi noceums away. So I think kind of a nice alternative to DEET. You can order it online. I've seen it everywhere from 13 to 28, 30 bucks. But probably not a bad option. Again, who knows what these chemicals do, but they do keep away the skeeters. Cool thing is this Repel. And this is what you use on your clothing, not your skin. You take and spray this Repel on your outer layer, and you spray it until it's pretty well saturated. I'm not doing it now, I'm just pretending because this has already been treated. And make sure you get all the areas, get it pretty well saturated, let it dry. And then this works when the skeeter lands on it, it kills the skeeter. Pretty amazing that you're wearing something that will actually kill a skeeter, but it won't bother you because it's not toxic to humans or animals. Well, it works pretty well. I've used it in Africa and Alaska. Africa's pretty amazing just to visit, but Africa also has lots of bugs that are kind of nasty. The skeeters carry malaria and dengue and some other stuff. So definitely use this in combination with some DEET or other chemical. Next thing is a barrier. Okay, keep them skeeters away from your skin. Here we've got a skeeter net. I bought this for a canoe trip in British Columbia. Couldn't go on a canoe trip because of some fires, but we ended up doing a backpack on the coast of British Columbia with a lot of mosquitoes. When we were on the coast itself, it wasn't too bad, but as soon as we got into the trees, man, there were clouds of mosquitoes. This works pretty well. You just put it on, covers you up. You can use this hood net, covers up your whole head, and keeps them skeeters away. Also works really well against gnats. If you've been in central Utah in July and June and July, you may have encountered hordes of gnats. And you see construction people, they're pretty much always wearing some kind of bug net if they're outside. And so, Roxy, a treat, treat, here, come here. Yeah, you get lots of treats here. Hello, you. There we go. Yep, see, so no DEET on the hands, so I can go ahead and feed the dog or myself. Again, she likes these cheesies. So do I. Not bad. Yep, Roxy, you're a hit. Another kind of barrier is a head net. You could probably put it on the dog too. Small, fits in the backpack, fits in the pocket, goes over your head like this, tighten it down. Works best with a broad brimmed hat because that keeps mosquitoes off your neck. Because if this is resting up against your neck, the mosquito can come through it and still get to you. You might also even just spray this thing with Repel. So we're good. So barriers. Also, what works well are these cotton or stretch hoodies. I've become a big fan of these hoodies, especially if they're treated with Repel. That keeps the bugs off and adds a certain amount of warmth. Not too bad in the heat, but better to be hot with one of these on than being eaten alive by mosquitoes. The other option is some kind of shell. This is a thin windproof shell from Patagonia. Love this thing. Super lightweight. You can wear it in a lot of different temperatures. It's surprisingly warm. It's completely windproof. Surprisingly keeps you warm in the cold. And we just heard a sonic boom. And keeps the bugs off. Cool thing about Patagonia is I've had this 15, maybe even 20 years. This is one of the first generation ones of these. And the zipper went bad. Sent this back to Patagonia along with $5. They replaced the zipper and replaced all of the elastic, and it's good as new. So good on Patagonia. What else do we got here? Alaska, it was Gore-Tex and layers, a little bug juice, and somewhere here I've got a neck gaiter. That disappeared. So neck gaiters are also nice. They'll keep you warm, keep the bugs off, and they're pretty popular now. So one other thing that I found, I've had this a few years and it works actually pretty well, is a Thermacell insect mosquito repeller. So it's got a little propane canister that goes in the bottom, and this little tablet of probably pyrethrin that burns slowly and releases a little bit of vapor that keeps the mosquitoes away. Works pretty well, keeps them away 10, 15 feet. Great on a porch, would probably work in a ventilated tent or in a camper. So works pretty well. So the options we have: repellents, barriers, and repellents again. Keep the mosquitoes away. Mosquitoes can be miserable. They can carry diseases. We're getting a few more diseases here in California now from mosquitoes. Ticks are horrible, and gnats are just miserable. So use whatever works for you, but this is what's worked for me. And so enjoy the wild, be good humans, and enjoy and take care of this wonderful place in which we live. And that's that.